Hi Soul Space, Sheila Hill here doing an impromptu live, mostly because I wanted to share, so I'm just trying to get the camera perfected here, mostly because I wanted to share some big ahas that I've had over the last kind of week and a half or so. So I hope everybody had a beautiful Christmas and is really starting to feel the energy and the excitement, starting to brew for what 2018 has in store. So, so I posted today in the group that in preparation, like everything that I'm doing my 2018 prep and really looking inward, doing some business planning, stuff like that. So I'm trying to just sort of take you guys as a group avatar in the Soul Space group through some steps and considerations for what you would like to have be manifested into form for you in 2018. So we did a beautiful solstice event on the 21st, which was wonderful. And some people have already contacted me that shifts are starting to show up for them in their lives, so the things that they released, which is amazing, which also tells me, because this is just the way it works, is that when you're truly ready, when you are truly done with your own bullshit and you are ready to release something, it happens really fast. When you just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I am done with this thought process, this self-limiting belief, this experience that I'm having in my life. Not, I want it to look like it's done. I think I want it done. I don't want the pain part, but I don't mind the rest. I mean, truly, when you are truly done with your own bullshit and you're really finished with playing small with whatever the self-limiting belief or idea is, once you choose to release it, it happens really, really quickly. Hi, Sharon. So I had a bit of a mind-blowing aha that sort of connected a bunch of dots for me. So I want to share that with you because I'm hoping that at least one person will have sort of some kind of a mind shift that will help them navigate 2018 in like the most amazing way possible. So it's a lot of words that are all scrambled up in my head. I'm going to do my best. Bear with me. Let's talk about fear, and let's talk about our ability to manifest. And I'm not talking about, gee, isn't it nice to do a wish list or say a prayer or have a vision board hanging in, you know, your bathroom or your kitchen or your office or whatever. I want to manifest some good stuff. I want you guys to really, really, really get it that we are always manifesting. We are always manifesting every minute of every day, all the time, because everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions are all energy, and we are always thinking, believing, and having emotions all day long. So we are always manifesting into form what our experiences are. So when you understand that you're accountable to you in your life every single minute of every single day on what you think, what you believe about yourself, and what you believe about your experiences, shit really starts to get real. Hi, Nancy. It really gets real because you're like, wow, like I'm like totally, completely, undeniably responsible for everything, even the stuff in my life that I don't like. Even the parts of myself that I don't like, even some of the people, the experiences, the jobs, the beliefs, whatever it is that you've got going on, even the stuff you don't like. The victimhood is over. It's take responsibility time, and it's really, really understand that you're manifesting all the time because you are a vibrational, energetic being, disconnected from source, of course, but you are source. You are love. You are disconnected from that because we came here to be in human form, and the ego disconnects us and gives us a false sense of separation. But you are light. You are your own universe, and you are always manifesting. Okay, so I tried to come up with an analogy because I try to take like the gajillion words of stuff that everything that I've read and videos I've watched and stuff, and it all goes into my head and it ruminates around a little bit, and I try to come out with something that makes it a little bit more easy to understand. So, okay. Understanding that everything is energy and that everything is available. Absolutely everything that you want. You want to be sick? It's available. You want to be rich? It's available. You want to have like anything, whatever it is in this world is energy. It's all available to you at any given point in time. So it's kind of like going to the grocery store. So when you go to, say, like the Real Canadian Superstore, you go to the grocery store and there is the produce department. There is the nutrition, holistic, alternative diet section. I can't think of what that's called right now. Where you find all your gluten-free stuff and vegan stuff like that. Your meat department, supplements. But then there's the candy aisle and the chip aisle and the cereal aisle that has all candy-coated cereals and stuff. So when you go to the grocery store, you have the stuff that you buy, and you know that there is a consequence based very, very clearly on how you eat and what you put into your body. So what I'm saying in the way of manifesting, using that same analogy of the grocery store, don't put shit in your cart that you don't want. Why would you do that? If you are trying to release weight or trying to be healthier and live a healthier lifestyle, why would you even go down the candy aisle? And then why would you put candy in your cart? Like, that just does not make any sense. So from a manifesting perspective, don't put stuff in your cart that you don't want. And a lot of that don't want comes from fear. As soon as you start thinking about what you don't want, it's got a thread attached to it somehow, that there's fear attached to, I really, really don't want to be alone. I really, really don't want to gain weight. I really, really don't want to be poor. But what happens is, hi Ann, you end up manifesting what you don't want because what you're focusing on is the not wanting. And it's all come from fear. And, excuse me, if you don't have quite enough fears of your own, there is lots of fears in the energetic form floating around in the air all the time. And you get to decide what you bring on board, what you put in your cart, and what you don't want to put in your cart. So if you are standing in Tim Hortons or at the grocery store or whatever, and you hear someone say, oh no, we can't afford that, like, be aware of the fact that you don't want that in your cart. That may be their belief system and that's what they're manifesting, and that's fine for them, but it's not what you want in your cart. So fear plays a huge, huge role in our manifesting abilities and powers, because we've shied away from the fact, we don't want to accept the fact, we don't find it easy to understand that we are incredibly powerful manifestors, incredibly powerful, and that everything is available, just like a grocery store. So, excuse me, this is where a bit of a retraction comes in, because this was an aha moment for me. Is I did a live, I don't know, a month, maybe 2 months ago, where I talked about opening of the third eye. And I sort of gave a little bit of convoluted warning that if it's something that someone really wants to work on, of opening their third eye and being able to see energy, to see spirits, etc., etc., that there may be things there that you don't necessarily want to see. And I've really struggled. So I have had experiences, very real experiences for me, where I have physically witnessed through my human form, via my third eye, stuff that no one would really want to see. The truth of that is, I created that. Was it real? Yes. Did I manifest it? Yes. Where I manifested it from was the same fear that many, many people have, is, oh boy, if I nurture my gifts and tune in and connect with my ability to see, my clairvoyancy gifts, what if I see something I don't want to see? And that's exactly what I manifested. I manifested myself experiences that I didn't want. And then I taught it to this group, which means I was passing along my fears of something that I had created and created probably more fear in you. So I am officially retracting that because it doesn't exist if you don't want it to exist. Nothing has to exist if you don't call it in. If you don't put it in your cart, then it doesn't exist for you. You are your own universe. You are your own God. You are your own creator and manifester. Like, the amount of power that we have as human beings goes beyond what our little brain can even imagine. But it is truth. So, in that creation of that manifestation, I was driving myself a little bit crazy because I was seeing stuff often and then having to sage and prayer and cleanse and clear and protect and blah, blah, blah quite a bit. There was a spell there where that was my reality. And I got angry. And I got angry at the universe that I believed existed outside of me. And I was like, this is crap. If I'm going to have these gifts and I'm going to use these gifts for the highest level of love and above to help myself, my children, and my clients, and anyone at all that gets put in my path, I don't want it to be this. I don't want my experience to be that sometimes I'm in love and sometimes I'm in fear and sometimes I'm in protection because of the fear. I don't want that. I was really, really angry and everything shut down for me for a while. And I was like, okay, how do I better navigate this? And I started learning and researching and reading and watching other people's YouTubes and things like that. And there was a common thread that those that didn't believe it existed didn't have the experiences. And those that believe that it does exist did have the experience. So again, to bring like sort of a more mainstream analogy, you know, like if you bumped into a friend and they were like, oh, my elbow really hurts. And you're like, oh, what happened? And they said, well, I play squash. And you know, when you play squash, it does this, that, and the other thing to your elbow. And it creates this and, you know, this repetitive whatever. And it hurts my elbow. Like, surely you know. And if you've never played squash before in your life, then you could quite honestly say, never had squash in my cart. Like, it's never been my experience. Having a repetitive squash-related injury in my elbow, like just, I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's never been in my cart. I've never bought it. I've never experienced it. I don't know what you're talking about. And it can really be that simple. Excuse me. We manifest into our existence absolutely everything, and we have control over what we allow in. And the best way to control it is to control our fear, because again, whatever it is that we fear, we are actually calling it in by giving it attention. You know, like the squash story, you'd be like, sorry, dude, I have no idea. Never had squash in my cart, never played it. Don't know what you're talking about. And then you would literally carry on with your day and not give that experience, that conversation, or whether or not you should learn how to play squash or not. It wouldn't even come into your head. And that's what I'm talking about on a greater, bigger level about moving forward in your life and moving forward into 2018 is really look at your fears. Look at where your fears are holding you back and figure out where they came from and who owns them and whose cart they really belong in, because they don't belong in yours. As soon as you can get a handle on navigating your fear triggers, you will be able to amp up your manifesting ability incredibly more so. So we are all from source. We have source within us. We are not separate. It's our ego that makes us feel separated. We are all of love. Like it just is. Our guides, masters, our spirit teams of love. It's all of love. Everything is of love. And anything that's not of love that you're seeing or experiencing is probably coming from fear. Anything that you can turn on the TV and watch the news, excuse me, and hear about wars and angst and religious turmoil and whatever other nasty things are going on in the world, when you get to the bottom of those things, it's fear. It's fear that one person had that attached itself to 50 other people, 500 other people, 5,000 other people that all had the same fear, and they are manifesting and creating their own experience from fear. And if that's what they want, more power to them. However, if that's not what you want, then stop putting shit in your cart that you don't want. Don't even entertain what you don't want. Keep your focus, keep your thoughts, keep your belief systems in alignment with what you do want. And I know that it sounds, I know I've talked about this in other ways, in other airy-fairy ways, and little memes and little cute things, and, you know, keep your vibe high and all that. This live today, we are about to roll into 2018 where the energies have really shifted. If you're part of this group, you've been doing your work. Everybody's on their own journey. Absolutely, I completely respect that. But I know that if you're a part of this group, you've been doing your work. And 2018 has the potential of being friggin' amazing. And if you don't make it amazing, it's because you chose not to. It's because you chose to pander to the fears, the fear and the shit that isn't frickin' real, and tie yourself back for another year. And you know what? I'll wait for you. And your guides and masters and your spirit teams, they'll wait for you because I love you and they love you. And really, love is the only place where anything is really at. You know, that's where the cool kids hang. Because we live in free choice. So you're being guided and supported to do things that don't reflect fear. But if your choice is that you want to pander to those things, then you get to go ahead and you get to create, and you will manifest yourself all gluttony of things that you probably don't want. And you can complain about them and you can go into victim mode and then you can live there for a little while, choose if you choose to, but none of that is necessary. Absolutely none of it. So go deep when your fears show up and figure out what the trigger is. Most of the time, just to give you some tips on that, most of the time the fear comes from something that occurred in the integration of your belief system prior to the age of 7. Unless some other, you know, sort of traumatic event happened after that, that sort of shifted things into something of more of a self-limiting belief. But yeah, like when I really, and sometimes you need to be told things, like there's a joke, maybe it's not, I don't, one of my friends and I always say, how many more times do you need to hear this? I'm like, only 499 more times. So depending on our mood, depending on where we're at, depending on where we are in our journey, sometimes we need to hear things in a different way over and over and over again. And so I've heard some things in the last couple of weeks. I've read some things and been exposed to some information that at first blush you'd be like, oh yeah, I already know this. But it went deeper this time. And that's why I'm doing the live today, because I really, I'm hoping to touch, like I said, even if it's just one person, to really sort of take you by the shoulders and look you deep in the eyes in the spirit of love and go, stop putting shit in your cart that you don't want. That's what I want to say to you. You are an incredibly powerful manifester. You are the incarnate of universal source love. You are powerful beyond what you can even begin to imagine. And now I have my own experiences to be able to say that third eye stuff, those entities and demons and things that I've had experiences seeing that were very, very real to me. They were real to me because I believed that they existed. I had a fear that if my third eye opened, that's what I would find. And I created it. and it was real, and I had to get help sometimes, and I had to do what I called my ghost busting, but it was real. I manifested that, and I have manifested those experiences to stop because I no longer believe that they really exist. I understand that that was my own creation, that I needed to go there so that I would learn how to come back. What other, like, there's so many other examples that people have, you know, like maybe your soul's journey is to dabble in the fear a little bit so that you can, part of your journey, part of your lessons in your soul's evolution is to find its way back to love, to be able to look at every situation as being the possibility of it being love. I mean, maybe none of us will ever enlighten to the point where everything is just always love and it's all love to us all the time. Maybe that won't happen, but getting better at not pandering to the fear and looking at absolutely everything as being the possibility of love is huge. It is huge. It moves us out of victim, and it allows us to tap deeper into our ability to manifest what we do want. So I guess another example would be, and I haven't really sort of digested this from every angle yet, but so for example, I lost both of my parents and my marriage within about a 4-year period, and it became like serious rock bottom for me. It just felt like it was one blow after the other, and I lived in victim. I lived in victim for a little while, and then I started doing my personal work, and then I found spirituality, and I got off the medications that I had been on, and I lost weight, and I truly transformed myself. But what I really did is I made the journey back to my light. And am I there? I don't think we get there. I think when you're there, you're done. But certainly, there was a lot of choice that went into where I am today. I can certainly look back on the players and the events that happened that got me here from a place of gratitude, because I know that if I had stayed living the life that I had been living, I would never have discovered who I am today, and I think I'm pretty good. So there's the choice. There's a choice not to pander to the fear. I nearly didn't become a coach. I was a financial planner. Shortly after that was what I had done before, and then after my divorce, I went back to financial planning, and it just was so out of alignment with who I was. I was bringing a version of myself to the table that I really, really didn't like. And so, you know, I got to the edge of the cliff, and I went, you know what, I've been through too much to live like this. I'm going to jump. And so I gave up my financial planning career, and I made the jump. And I took coaching programs and hypnotherapy certifications, and I worked on me. And as I worked on me, every time I was a few steps ahead, I would share that with someone. And I built my coaching career. And I'm doing energy work and helping people heal and helping people move from where I used to be to where I am now and beyond, you know, whatever their version of their best self is. So lots of choices. Choosing to look at everything from the example of this is what was done for me so that I'll find my light, and that fear is really the only thing that's keeping you from your light. And if you're manifesting from a place of fear, you're manifesting all kinds of shit. You're putting stuff in your cart you don't want, stuff that you don't even need to experience. If living in lack has been your experience so far, you get to decide. You get to say, I am literally taking this lack, scarcity, poverty mentality out of my cart. I've learned my lesson. I choose to return back to my light. There is an abundance of everything that I could possibly need available to me because I am a co-creator. I am universal source incarnate, and I have the ability to manifest whatever I desire. So I think I'm going to read your comments in a second, Gail. I think that So many of us live in the powerlessness. Now that I've sort of downloaded all of these words, I'm getting clearer and clearer. We live in the powerlessness of the idea that the universal source that creates, that decides for us is outside of us. That it's something that we have to prove ourselves to, that we have to beg, we have to pray, we have to earn, we have to visualize and manifest and, do cartwheels and whatever else, whatever other silliness, in order to get what we want. Why is the universe doing this? The universe gave to me. The universe did this. The universe did that. Many, many of us, and I am one of them, look at it as the universe is something outside of us. And really, really, we have to get plugged into the idea that the universe is inside of you. There is no shifting the blame. There's no shifting the triumphs. There's no shifting the celebrations. If you've got shit going on in your life, it's because you put it in your friggin' cart. Stop doing that. Realize that you have the massive, massive power and ability to create whatever it is you want to live, as long as you don't do it from fear. So I'm going to check my notes here just to make sure that I cover everything, because, I get on, whatever. I get on here and I get into a bit of a rant. So I'm going to just go back because I wanted to look at, Gail gave a comment here. I started doing my personal work after losing my parents within 6 months of each other 8 years ago. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. I have made many changes with the support of my husband. I have crossed many. Oh, and you know what? I'm on my phone and I can't, Gail, finish typing in what it is that you were saying, because I can't do, there's no read more. Your comment got cut off. So finish typing from I have crossed many. And hi, Suzanne. You have reached your happy path. That's excellent. Great. We all get there eventually, but we would just like it to happen sooner than later, of course. Nancy, your shopping cart is full of love, peace, ease, grace, abundance, joy, prosperity, vibrance, creativity, friendship, collaboration, innovation, greater health. And I'm still picking up items. And so it is, and so it shall be for you, Nancy, when you truly, truly believe that that is what you put in your cart and you don't pander to fear anymore. There's no need for it. Fear is not real. Anything that we create from fear doesn't need to even be. That is beautiful, what you've got in your cart, Nancy. And so it is. So, anybody that's watching, and by all means, if you're watching this on the replay, please post in the comments because I still engage. Does anybody have anything that they want to out themselves on as far as where they're manifesting from fear? Anyone have any other comments? Anything that they want to add, any experiences that they want to share that we can chat a little bit about and gain some clarity on? Sharing is caring because we all learn when we share. Understanding this is huge. Taking it on board and living it every minute of every day is so freaking powerful. And if you want to use my grocery store analogy, then by all means, make that your mantra. Like, what am I putting in my cart? What is going in my cart because of that thought? I'll never be able to, whatever is a limiting belief. And what goes with that? Like, what all goes in the cart with that? I'll never be able to, go on a trip. And then you put in your cart all kinds of lack and scarcity and poverty and other crap that you don't want to experience, and you certainly don't have to, but now you've just filled your cart with stuff. Letting go is key, Nancy, and getting rid of the mental clutter, absolutely, because the ego works to keep us in separation. So for me, the mental clutter, and perhaps it is the same for you, Gail, I will look in just a second. There was a time in my life where I suffered from depression and anxiety. So depression is when the pendulum swings back into looking back on your life and disappointment, grief, whatever. And anxiety is when it pendulum swings the other way, when you're projecting into the future farther than you are able to understand, manage, or control. So I lived in that space at one time, and my head was chronically always full to overflowing with messages, ideas, and thoughts that absolutely did not serve me in the here and now. Getting off medication, cleaning up my diet, understanding how this stuff works, and meditation has been huge, absolutely huge, for clearing the mind clutter. I actually live in my nothing box most of the time. You know that joke where they say that women have like all this stuff and their boxes are all intertwined, but then the men have just like a nothing box and they sit in their nothing box and they drink beer and they watch TV. I have a nothing box and I'm very proud of it. But yes, clearing the mental clutter is huge for being purposeful, intentional, and being self-aware of what you're thinking and what that means, because that's putting something in your cart, right? Being an observer of yourself and not attaching to the self-limiting beliefs, the victim stories, the pity parties. Just go, wow, like and I'm able to do that too, where I'm able to say, excuse me, where I'm able to say, wow, I am knee deep in my victim story at the moment. And then I just go blah, 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 and I'll go, which I know is not true. But obviously it's come up for a reason and I need to honor it and I need to love it and I need to vocalize it, journal it, meditate it, release it, let it go, whatever it is, right? Okay, Gail, great. Thank you. Nancy, cleaning up the physical house is important. All the stuff connected to the past that no longer serves is very necessary. I continue to declutter daily. It's an ongoing process. Nancy, I'm so proud of you. I feel like something happened for you where you just went, you like it when I do this. I fucking get it. Like, I feel like that's what happened for you. You were like, now I get it. And you are just making the steps to create a whole new version of you that I think you probably didn't maybe even know existed, or maybe you lost her and now you're finding her again. But anyway, super proud of you. Doing this work takes commitment. It pays off in spades. I guarantee you that. I'm going to start to wrap this up. I was so, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm going to start to wrap up this live. When I get on here, there's, well, a little bit of nerves and a whole bunch of being hyper present and a little bit of channeling and a little bit of me trying to make sure that I get the message across that I wanted to get across. So I'm hoping that as you start to reflect and you start to plan and you start to engage in your co-creative powers with your own universe, that understanding the analogy of what you put in your cart is super important. And if you're putting stuff in your cart from a place of fear that's not even real, you're sabotaging yourself. So I really, really, really wanted to make sure that I hit home with this. I am available for those that I know, those that are watching probably already know everything that I do, but working from going forward, I have lots of different programs and events coming up for one-on-one work. If you really just need help finding your way out of the fear, untangling yourself from the self-limiting beliefs, that is what I do. I do coaching, I do hypnotherapy, and I do hands-on energy healing. So you get the full package with me. We can get you detangled and on the right path, absolutely. And mountains of love and support to you while you're working yourself through it, but I will help guide you. So that's available. Vision board workshop coming up on July 14th. I know I referenced vision boards at the beginning of this video. My vision board workshops are different than any other vision board workshop you would ever experience with anyone because of my connection to source and my understanding of the world of energy. So you do come away from the workshop with a fully created vision board, but the presentation and the physical work and the energetic work that we do during the actual event really is invaluable. So please, if that's something that resonates with you, if you have really decided that 2018 is going to be the year that you get over your own bullshit and really move forward, then I'm happy and here to support you through various different, I run meditation groups, the vision board workshop, the one-on-one work. I've got some other really cool events coming up in the future. So please get in touch with me. You are not meant to do this alone. And absolutely, I'm here to support you. The group is here to support you. Post in the group, post questions, whatever it is that you need. So I'm just going to wrap this up for today and just say to you that you are an incredibly powerful incarnation of universal source love. If you are living an experience that is outside of that, that is you. You have created it. We won't judge it. We will love you through it. I've done it too. We all do. Don't put shit in your cart that you don't want. Don't even entertain or think about what you don't want. Keep your thoughts clean. Know that you are manifesting every minute of every day. And when something shows up that you really didn't want, don't jump over a cliff over it. Just look at it and go, interesting. I wonder what day I did that. Because that's exactly how it works. You can have fun with it. Anyway, stay tuned, stay in touch. I hope that you got something valuable from this. Love to you all. Thank you for helping me grow the community. I will be back to doing my lives in January. Have a beautiful and happy New Year, whatever it is that you decide to do for January 1st. But really the new year can be today. The new year can be 5 minutes from now. The new year can be for you whenever you decide that's it. That's enough. I'm no longer manifesting from fear. I'm not putting stuff in my cart that I don't want. Okay? Love to you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.